What our ego will tell us of independence, or how it tries to be independent, is, I don't need anybody. I've been doing this all my life. Yeah, I don't need you. We're speaking about a particular way of being in the world where it's, I don't want to need anybody, and therefore I will become so ferociously independent that I don't need anybody. But then at a certain point, that leaves us high and dry. Because our nature wants to connect. Our nature knows that it's connected. Our nature knows that I'm only alive because the earth has provided for me. Somebody else grew my food. I do not grow my own food. Somebody had to grow my food for me, right? I needed them to grow their food in their lovely way so that I could eat today. So as much as I can tell myself, I am so independent, we're actually not. When we start to break it down and get past the mind on that one, we realize how much we need everybody else. I did not build my car. As much as I love engineering and I love cars, I did not build my car. I don't have the time to learn all that. So independence is a state of mind set up by the ego. When we're practicing in that kind of way. Yeah? When we come into a meditation space, what happens to our independence is that it goes through a kind of a transition, right? So we let go of that ego-led independence, which isn't really independent at all. Meditation brings us on a journey where actually we become very liberated. It's a much truer sense of independence in that I own my own mind, or I'm in charge of my own feelings. I'm present to all of that. That's a whole different other experience of independence that recognizes how I need other people or how I need other things. But it's in a very liberated way. The barriers that we put in place, it might look like independence, it might look like fear, it might look like not deserving or unworthiness, or all of those things, resistance, all of that. But they're all barriers to us having what we deserve, having the wonderfulness of everything. And that's where we're allowed to make mistakes. So while we're learning, we're going to make mistakes. And there is going to be times where we feel we're deserving something, but it's maybe ego-driven. Yeah, and then we find out, that was my ego. And we learn from that, yeah. But that's the journey. The journey, it's not about getting it right first time. It's not about dissolving everything that's negative in us and then sail off into the sunset because we have all our shit together. Yeah.
One thing comes to me, like, nowadays, if someone has a chronic illness, like, what's the difference between karma and you can't, there's a law that you can't sort of change someone's karma or take it away, but what's the difference?
So that connects into a little bit of what I was saying around the free will. That when we're working out our karma in something, yeah, and we've agreed that I'm going to do this to work out my karma, and while we're in the midst of that, so it might be working in a job that we hate, but that might be our karma to be in that job that we don't like. And so we might feel unable to change that until the karma is served. And when karma is cleared in that, everything will start to move out of the way. Yeah. So you can think of meditation practice, yeah, and your spiritual practice, especially things like mantra or doing, sacred ritual and things like that, as being very powerful ways. Probably your easiest way to clear karma. Easiest way to clear karma. The other way involves hard work. So it can be the hard work of relationships or a career or difficulties. Yeah. This side of clearing karma is actually the easiest. By doing mantra, by doing different rituals, anything that we do that purifies and clears our energy, like yogas or fasting or things like that. All of those things clear karma. Visiting holy places, sacred places. Yeah, we clear karma by doing that. We clear karma by doing good things for other people. All of that, it's like, karma is a bit like a bank account. Yeah, it's a bank account of consequence. Everything that we do or we omit to do has a consequence. Yeah. That consequence can seem like a benefit or can seem like a negative. Yeah. It's all equal in terms of karma. Karma doesn't really mind, yeah? But karma will match like for like. So it can be as black and white as if I steal something, something will be stolen from me. Or something like that, yeah? And, but not all karma is like for like. Yeah. So I don't want your mind going to the places of murders and armed robbers and how that's karma, because don't let your mind go into that place. Keep it really, really simple. Yeah. That karma is the action that we take and the consequence of that. So when you begin to create your karma as being, let's say, good deeds, to be very religion class about it, doing good things, yeah, being honest, being kind, being loving, being generous. All of those things are creating, we could call it a positive karma. Yeah, has a positive effect on you, has a positive effect on the people around you. Depending on our karmic bill, that may take a while for the good karma to come back to us. So don't expect it to show up straight away. Don't expect that, oh, well, I've given this money to whatever charity. Where's the money coming back to me? Yeah, that might come back to you in another lifetime. But that doesn't matter. Karma is a bit like a wheel. You can imagine an old-fashioned cartwheel, yeah? And when we do something that's positive karma, it puts a little, it puts something on that wheel. But then the wheel has to turn. If we're clearing negative karma, we're taking a negative off of that and we're putting a positive. The wheel is turning all the time. At a certain point, the wheel will come back around and it has the positive things. We get to then benefit from those. So you don't even really need to think about karma at this stage in things. Yeah? It's not an easy subject to speak in a black and white or clear way about. Yeah? But it's as simple as action and consequence of that action. And that action is our thinking, it's what's happening in our emotional world, every bit as much as the things that we do, how we are in the world. So this process, when we start meditating and we begin to clear whatever negativity we have inside, pain or conflicts or issues like that, yeah, we're making more and more space to be able to input good karma. When we start clearing the patterns or clearing the mindsets, yeah, that have kept us in cycles of, let's say, negative karma, like judging people or being hard on ourselves, that side of things, yeah. We're not calling that karma when we correct it, but it really is. You can break it down to be about karma, if you want. But for me, sometimes that feels like it overcomplicates it. Just keep it really simple. The simplest way that I can describe this is that meditation brings us closer and closer to ourselves. And that brings us closer and closer to doing right by ourselves. At a certain point, that will feel quite clear. It will feel quite distinct from everything. We'll be quite aware of how different other things can influence us, but we'll have enough of a sense of who we are that we'll know what feels right. Nobody will be able to fool you in that. That's that kind of independence that I'm talking about, but it's really about being liberated. It's being liberated from all external influence, or as much as possible, any external influence. And my whole way of being in the world is present to this, present to what's going on in me, present to what I need or what I'm contributing to the world, present to what I'm getting from that. Keep it that simple. If we're able to keep it that simple, that will feel really, really liberated. That will feel really, really connected. We'll start to feel how our different relationships, different situations change. Different opportunities show up when we approach the world in that way. Because we're moving with the energy rather than against it.